I'm going to go through everything one more time. Do y'all know if we did 13 or did we do an even number or did we do both? Can you let me know that?
I think we did both, if I'm not
Okay,
mistaken.
we're going to do it one more time because I'm going to add something to it. Okay, so I'm going to, since everybody else is being antisocial with the video, I'm going to be antisocial also. That way we're all in one accord. All right, so the mean, and everybody should be able to see my spreadsheet. The mean is equal to the summation of all your numbers. Add all those up and divide by 13. Now, what did I tell you about rounding? What's the secret about rounding? When do you round in probability and statistics? When do you round?
After you get the total, like
at the very end, when you're fixing to type your answer in to the homework or the test, that's when you round. You see, I'm carrying mine to 5 decimal points. You always keep your decimal points in throughout the whole problem. Now, what do you mean, Hubert? Well, some people might go, okay, 17.76, and you'll say, okay, the mean is 17.8. And then you go over here and you do x minus x bar, and you take 12 and you minus 17.8. Well, your answer is going to be wrong. All right. I would at least carry it to 5 digits in the calculations because you are going to be asked to round either to the 10th or 100th or 1000th. Okay. I don't think I've seen a test or a homework problem that says round to the 10,000th or the 100,000th or the millionth or whatever. I've never seen one. Usually it's to the 10th, 100th, or 1000th. So everybody make that note. I try to tell all 4 of my probability and statistics classes. That's why I kind of have to ask y'all where I am teaching wise. I try to tell all 4 of y'all to make sure you round at the very end when you fixing to type in whatever they're asking for. All right. Median. Well, the median, since this is odd, it's going to be 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is the median. So how do you find the median when n is odd? You just what? What did I tell you? You just find the what? I have taught y'all this, haven't I? I have taught y'all this before, haven't I?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Miss Gill. I appreciate it. Mode. What does mode stand for?
The most common.
The most. The one that shows up the most, which would be 15. What's the range?
Highest minus the lowest.
Highest minus the lowest. I appreciate y'all interacting. I know it's kind of boring having the same people interact, but it's better than everybody being weaned on a pickle. All right, somebody tell me what the mid-range is. It's just like the midpoint.
Highest plus the lowest divided by 2.
Highest plus the lowest divided by 2. Variance. Well, remember the formula. The formula says, and I'm putting the formula down because I'm not going to tell you what to do. Now, see, why does it do that? It's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to go directly. I haven't touched anything. That is weird. I haven't done anything. And the first time I click on it, it goes to, it doesn't make sense. You know what it is? It's them damn Russians is what it is. All right. So I'm going to make this go down a little bit. And there we go. All right. The variance is equal to the summation of x minus x bar, quantity squared, over n minus 1. And just for giggles, what is the standard deviation? What's the relationship between the standard deviation and the variance? And I want somebody beside Mr. Chadman and Miss Gill to answer it. Anybody? Louisiana, you there? You won't let me down, or Miss Winship won't let me down, will you? Okay, they went. Oh, Lord. Well, I'll just sit here and wait. Miss Oglesby, you won't let me down. Somebody besides Miss Gill and Miss Chadman, what is the relationship between the standard deviation and the variance? Okay, we got somebody chatting. Let's see. Okay, that's standard. I don't know. That's standard deviation. What is the relationship between the standard deviation and the variance? What do I do to the variance to get the standard deviation? Anybody? Okay, well, we'll wait until somebody finally decides to talk or chat.
I kind of forgot, sir.
You kind of forgot. Well, that's good. You at least interacted with me. Thank you, Mr. Adams. The standard deviation is the square root of the variance. Thank you, Mr. Brown. I appreciate our new people that's gonna, that's gonna kind of help Mr. Chadman and Miss Gill out. Thank you very much. And that's Louisiana, Mr. Adams, and Mr. Brown. Thank you. That's okay. At least you're interacting. Thank you. Y'all are all going to have nice offices, and you're going to have nice relationships with your coworkers because you're communicating. It's a good thing. All right, so that is how you're going to find the standard deviation and the variance. Now, what do I tell you to do? I tell you to read the formula. Read the formula. Please excuse my what? My dear Aunt Sally. Parentheses comes first. You do what's in the parentheses first, then exponents, then addition. Then addition, because the summation is addition. Those three things you're going to do first. All right, because they're all up here in the numerator. Then you're going to divide, because that fraction bar is after you do the top. So I don't want anybody going, oh, well, you got to square this first. You got to add them up. No. First thing you got to do is subtract the mean from each of your x's. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to call this x minus x bar. Now, a lot of you are saying, well, why are you doing this on a spreadsheet? I'm doing it on a spreadsheet so I can get it all on one screen so we don't have to flip-flop different screens. That's why I'm using it. That's the main reason I'm using it. Do you have to learn how to use Excel? No, to pass this class, you do not. Would it be wise to learn Excel? Yes, not Excel. You can, what do y'all call it in y'all's Chrome, in y'all's computer? What is it called in your Chromebook, or what is it? Anybody have an idea what it's called?
Like
I think
Google
it's called
Sheets.
Google Sheets.
Chrome Sheet or something like that. Yes. I would highly suggest that you learn that, because if you learn one, the rest of them is the same thing. All right. And another reason you want to use Excel is because out of all the applications of Windows, of all the applications, Excel is the most used in the real world. Okay. So the second best would be either PowerPoint or Publisher, depending on what kind of field you're in, or word processor. If you're in an office, the word processor would be, Word would be your second best. If you're in a graphics design / advertising, that would be publisher. You would be using that second. And if you're in a presentation field like moi, education, or supplemental instruction in a manufacturing, you would be using PowerPoint. So the Excel is number one in all those fields. So, I don't want you going into the real world and, after you graduate, after your 6-month degree or 2-year degree or 4-year degree, I don't want you going into the real world going, Excel, what's that? That's not good. So anyway, I'll shut up. Now, we took x minus x bar, now we're going to square it. X minus x bar, quantity squared. And I know I'm going over this twice, but there's a reason I'm going over this twice. As Miss Gill said, some of you have never had probability and statistics before. And I've got to go over it twice. So, there we go. Now, what do I do? Let's go back. I just did this. And I just did this. Now what? What am I going to do next? Okay, it's time to interact with the teacher. That was a Q. Q-U-E, I just Q'd the class. That means that somebody needs to interact with the teacher. What do I do next? Read the formula. Okay, I know somebody knows because you've done this before.
You need to divide it with the bottom, so we gotta find.
Okay, we're not finished with the top yet. We're not finished with the top. There's one thing left on the top. That's a good answer, but there's one more thing we haven't done at the top in the numerator. What is it? What's not highlighted?
The sign. I forget what it's called.
That is called sigma, capital sigma. The funky E is called capital sigma. What does capital sigma represent? Okay, if you don't know, just say you don't know.
I'm not sure. I was looking at my notes to see if I could try to find what I had.
That's all right. That's all right. At least you're trying.
It means a sum?
Capital sigma means add all those numbers up. It's called summation. Write that down. I thought we covered that. I'm sorry.
No, we did. I just completely.
Okay. Sigma, you're the only one communicating with me. So sigma equals, or that funky E right there is capital sigma. Lowercase sigma is the O with the pompadour on top. Okay? And capital sigma always, no matter what class you're in, capital sigma means summation. And I have no idea. When it comes to double letters, I suck. So I hope that's summation. I hope that's spelled correctly. And that means add up all the numbers. So our Greek lesson today is capital sigma. Usually they call it sigma. They call this sigma too, but this is capital sigma and this is lowercase sigma. And that means I'm going to add up all those numbers and I'll have my numerator. So let's go back to the spreadsheet. Y'all can see why it's kind of hard to teach if the class don't give you much feedback, because I don't know what you know and what you don't know. So it's kind of difficult. So I appreciate those that are trying. Thank you very much. It's kind of like when you're married and the female of the marriage, thinks that you can read their mind. It doesn't work that way, y'all. It doesn't work. And males, you will meet somebody like that there's something in the female gene that thinks that, now females, they can read each other's minds, you know, but females think that males can do that and males cannot. It's not in their gene pool. It's not in there. So don't go into a relationship thinking that the male can read your mind, because that does not work. Okay? And when you go out on a date, don't eat water, don't drink water and a piece of lettuce. That's annoying to a guy. All right? Isn't it, guys? Isn't that annoying? And nothing. Not a damn thing. So, guys, nothing annoys you on a date? Girls, what annoys y'all on a date?
When y'all don't listen.
Okay, see, there you go. Miss Gill's already got it. She's already getting it. There you go. Y'all don't listen. There's no what? Communication, right?
Or you tell them something and they'll be like, no, I think we should do it this way. And then they do it their way and it didn't work out. Then do it your way and then it works out. So it's kind of interesting how that works.
Yeah. All right. Divided by, all right, now y'all can handle this. What is 13 minus 1? 12. Thank you, class. That's why the divorce rate keeps going up, Miss Gill. The more cell phones we have, the more people don't what? Communicate. And when they don't communicate, they go into a relationship and they don't communicate.
Or they
Just
communicate way too much.
I'm sorry, what?
I said, or they communicate way too much to other people.
Yeah, that's true. Through the phone. Yep. All right, and then the square root of the 17 is equal to that raised to the 0.5 power. And there is your, now we're going to do something else today. We're going to add something to it. We're going to add the 5-number summary to it. I'm going to put that up here. 5-number summary consists of the men, the first quartile, the second quartile, the third quartile, and the max. Y'all ever seen this before? Y'all ever seen the 5-number summary before?
No.
Okay, thank you. 5-number summary yields to the box plot. Okay, when you do a 5-number summary, the next thing they're going to ask you for is a box plot. So you need to write that down. I'm going to go to the handy dandy document cam. And this is very important. This is a very important page. Okay, we're going to talk about the normal curve and different variations of the normal curve. We're going to talk about the empirical rule. I need somebody that's got a book to look up the empirical rule. It should be, I think it's in 6.2 or 6.3. It's in 6.3. I'm sorry. We got 6C. I think it's 6C. And I think it's midway through. You're looking for a normal curve. I think it's green, and it's got percentages in it. Somebody tell me what page that's on. It's in 6C. And I think it's about middle ways through. It's in the middle of the page. It's a big normal curve, and I think it's either green or blue, and it's got percentages. It's divided up into percentages. They call it, in this book, they call it the 99.766 rule. It's not that. It's the empirical rule. Anybody got a page number on that? Has anybody got a book in front of them?
No, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, empirical rule and 5-number summary / box plot. Okay, if you've still got a book, keep looking for it. Like I said, it's in 6C, and it's about middle ways. All right. Now, from here on out, I would highly suggest that you go to Google and you pull up the normal curve and you find one that you like and you print out several thousand of them. Okay, I'm kidding. But from here on out, you're going to be drawing this a good bit because you need to, especially in chapter 7. So I've only got a few because I used them all up since last semester. So I need to run some more copies. But this one's the one I like because, and I'll show you how to do it right quick. It's real difficult because some of y'all, it'll take 2 or 3 weeks to do it. You actually hit Google and you go and you type in normal curve, and you can also use empirical rule, normal curve, empirical rule. You want to find one. There it is right there. That's the one I use. But hit images. That's one button. So I hit the return button and then I clicked on images. So that's 2 buttons to help those that, you know, it takes 2 or 3 weeks to do this. And click on that one. Pick which one you want. This is the one I use. Okay. And save. Okay, that was 4 buttons. 3 buttons or 4 buttons. This is 4 buttons. Save image as normal curve empirical. And we're going to save that in downloads or save it in pictures. And save. And go to a word processor. So we're talking about 5 buttons now. So it's a lot of work, And click on that. I would choose landscape, layout, landscape. Where's my landscape? Orientation, landscape, and insert picture. And should be normal curve somewhere. I saw it. There it is. Oh my gosh, we talking really a lot of work here, a lot. Let me go to layout, margins, narrow, and print you off about 10 of those or 15 or 20, and you're going to use them. Believe you me, you're going to use them. Fit it however you want to. Some people put 2 on a page, and you could do that. So that's how you do it. It's real difficult. It might take some of y'all a long time to do it. All right. Question, gripe, complaint. So let's go back. And there is the empirical rule. I want you to write that down. What is the empirical rule? You see the percentages? That is the empirical rule. So go ahead and write that down. Draw your curve and divide it up into sections. Now, what is this? Well, that's the mean. The mean goes in the middle, so you need to write that down because, you know, that's important. The mean goes in the middle. And then the standard deviations go on the right. See standard deviation right there? So you add standard deviations to the right and you subtract to the left the standard deviation. Now, is that very important? Yeah, it's very, very, very important because from here on out, you're going to be doing that every time you draw this curve. So you better learn it now, okay? And what is our mean in that last problem? Okay, our mean, I'm going to say is 18. Okay, I'm not going to use decimals because I'm not going to take time out of class to add them on the calculator and do that. I'm just going to say, you don't round, but I'm just going to say our mean is 18. So I'm going to put 18 in the middle here. And our standard deviation is 4. Okay, so go back to my handy dandy. So 18 is our mean. And what's 18 plus 4? What's 18 plus 4?
22.
Thank you. And keep going. What's 22 plus 4?
26.
And what's 26 plus 4?
30.
Okay, now I want somebody else to subtract. What is 18 minus 4? What is 18 minus 4? Really?
14.
Thank you, Miss Winship. This is becoming a pissing contest. This is what this is becoming. And I'm going to win, okay? Good gosh, I can't believe y'all are doing this. 14 minus 4 is what?
10.
Thank you. And 10 minus 4 is?
6.
Now, was that painful? You still got people in there going, I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to talk. I'm going to stay up. Yes. You are a prude and a prune, and you are going to be in a corner office closet. All right. So anyway, 18, 14, 10. Now, learn that right now. Learn it, because you're going to be doing that, and that's called standard deviations. I'm kind of killing 4 birds with 1 stone here, so it's very important that you fill out everything that I'm doing here. All right. Now, the empirical rule says that 95% of the population will fall between 2 standard deviations. So if you add up all these percentages right here, you will get 95%. 95% falls in 2 standard deviations, and that is not right on the focus. Hold on. Is that good right there? Like somebody's going to say yes or no. All right, so there's 95% and normal, or not unusual. Is that very important? Yes. So you better write it down. You better, because this is the empirical rule. 95% falls within 2 standard deviations. Well, what's outside? Well, 5%. This is 2.5, and this is 2.5. What's 2.5 and 2.5? 5%. So 5% falls outside. And we're going to take a yellow marker, and we're going to highlight this right here. Can somebody tell me what that area is? It's not normal. Anybody? That's unusual. Unusual. Thank you, Ms. Ogilvy, for adding. I appreciate you doing that in the chat. I didn't see it. I'm sorry. Now, I'm not asking for a lot. All I'm asking for is interaction. And I'm going to take the last marker, the last section, and color it pink or red. Anybody tell me what falls outside of 3 standard deviations? Anybody? Outliers. Who's an outlier? Tiger Woods, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan. Those are all outliers. Those are people, your 6 foot third grader, your second grader that can play Beethoven's Fifth on a piano. Those are people that are outside the what? Outside the norm. The further you go out, the more of an outlier you are. Capiche? That is the empirical rule. What I just showed you 2 things. One, I showed you mean and standard deviation to the right, mean and standard deviation to the left. That's the first thing I showed you. Second thing I showed you is I showed you the empirical rule. The empirical rule says that within 2 standard deviations, it's normal. Outside of 2 standard deviations is unusual, and outside of 3 standard deviations is what? Outliers. Are both of these test questions? Yes. Are both of these going to follow you throughout this whole semester? Well, not the whole semester. This isn't 120. Your Unit 1 and Unit 2 test. Yes. Unit 1 and Unit 2 test. This is going to follow you, so you better learn it. Now, when you're reading the bell curve or when you're reading your data, there's things called percentiles. There is, let's go with this. Let's say that this is your fuel gauge in your car. I don't know how to spell gauge, but I don't think that's right. How do you spell gauge? I don't look right. I know that don't look right. All right. Nobody's going to tell me, so I'll just look it up right quick. Great having people to interact. It's great. G-U-A-G-E. Is that right? It is. G-A-U. I had it back.
I think you got the U.
Now you say something. Why are you saying something now? I done looked it up, Miss Gill.
Because I was trying to look it up. I told you I'm slow.
Thank you, Miss Gill. There. I knew something didn't look right. All right. So fuel gauge. So somebody tell me what's on this. On this. Here's the needle. That's where the needle goes, and it's up here and over here. What's over here? Over here on the left. What's over here on the left on your fuel gauge in your car?
Empty.
Empty, thank you. Give me a number that represents empty. 0. So 0% is over here on the left if you're going like this. Somebody tell me what is about right here. Well, that's a quarter of a tank, right? Well, that's your first quartile. Or 25th percentile. What is right here? Come on, people. All of you have a fuel gauge in your car.
Half a tank.
Thank you. I wish people would interact besides the same people. Half, this is your second quartile. Half, this is your 50th percentile. And it's also called the second quartile. And it represents a half. All right, what does this represent right here? Come on, y'all, follow the pattern.
3/4 of a tank.
Okay, 3/4 of a tank, which is 75th percentile. And what? Third quartile. And that's called 3/4 of a tank. half, and a quarter. And of course, over here is full, or 100%. Full. Now, that's if you're reading if you're reading it like this, okay? But the way that they really look at it is if you've got a set of numbers over here, 20, 21, 22, 23, 23, 25, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 27, 28, okay? Where is the 50th percentile? Well, the 50th percentile is the median. We're gonna get into that. The 50th percentile is equal to the median. So you got to find the median, which is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so the median is right there of 23. You take the average of those two numbers. And then you say, well, how many numbers are above that median? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first quartile is 21 plus 22 divided by 2, and that's your first quartile. Your third quartile, 1, 2, 3, 4, is these two numbers. That's 25 plus 27 divided by 2. That's your third quartile. And that's if you have a list of numbers. Okay, so you've got to know basically what your first, second, third quartile is. 99% of the time, you're going to be finding it right here. This is just to explain to you what it is. It means it represents a quarter, half, 3/4, and full. You're not going to be asked the quartiles on the, but I'm trying to show you basically what it means. And here is where you see it in the numbers. Now let's go back to our, I'm going to give you a few more seconds to have write all that down. Anybody got any questions on 1, the normal curve, 2, the standard deviations, 3, the empirical rule? Did anybody find the page that it's on? Okay, appreciate it. And the 5-number summary, because now the 5-number summary is the min, the max, the first quartile, the second quartile, which is the median, and the third quartile. That's your 5-number summary. Now there's something else I want to show you, and it is the difference between a normal distribution versus a uniform, and I've got to do it in 5 minutes, so let me go to it right quick because some of y'all are going to start convulsing. There's 4 types of distributions. 4 types. And this is a test question, so make sure you know it. There is uniform distribution. That looks like a rectangle. Uniform distribution usually is dealing with time. Why is time uniformly distributed? Okay, Miss Louisiana, what does peak mean? Did I miss something? Okay. You know, this is going to be a long semester. Y'all don't start communicating. Why is time uniformly distributed? Come on, I know some of y'all have some scientific minds. Come on, throw out a guess. Why is time considered uniform? Give me some things you know about time. What are some things you know about time? Now, that's just a subjective question.
Time never reverses. It always goes in one direction. And that's
exactly. Can we manipulate time? Yes or no?
No, sir, we cannot.
No, you cannot. And that's why time is uniform. It's about the only thing that man hasn't screwed up. All right? Because he can't. Even though there's some women that try. Have you ever been to a dance recital or a cheerleading competition? And some of the moms are trying to wear notice I said trying, to wear their daughter's clothes. That's sad. Because I'm going to be honest with you, there are only a few Sandra Bullocks in the world, 1%. 1% of the population of mothers can pull that off. The other 99%, they don't need to try it. Okay? So there are some people that try to manipulate time. Don't do it. You're not going to manipulate time. So it's always going to be what? Uniform. So any question you get about uniform distribution is usually going to be dealing with time. Then you have the normal distribution, which we just went over. And all of these have one thing that's very important. And that one thing is, and I'm going to put it in red because it's very important. Because statistics is the study of how things fall in relationship to the what? I just wrote it down. I want somebody to say it. I just gave you all a cue. How everything relates to the what?
Center.
Thank you. Still having that pissing contest, but that's okay. You're going to see that in the real world too. You're going to see pissing contests. Skewed left. Skewed left is when all the data is on the right. Skewed right is when all the data is on the left. Okay, so you got examples. Anything having to do with time is going to be uniform. Anything having to do with like grades in a classroom. Normal. Grades in a classroom. Let's use grades as an example. Now, what if I do grades right here? What does this mean if everybody's making a good grade? That means that the teacher and the students are all exceptional. Or it could mean that all the tests are very what? That's another cue. All the tests are very what if everybody makes A's?
Easy.
Thank you, Miss Ballou. Was that you, Miss Ballou?
Yes, sir.
You feeling sorry for me because I can't get anybody to talk? You finally broke? I appreciate it. And what if you have a skewed right in the classroom? What does that mean? Come on, y'all can tell me because y'all know teachers like this. The teacher, what?
Sucks at teaching or the tests are too hard.
The teacher sucks, the students suck, or all the tests are extremely what? Difficult.
Hard.
Good. So all I got to do is ask y'all questions at the end of class and y'all start answering them, right? Okay. I appreciate you, Miss Ballou. Thank you. And Miss Gill, let's see, who else? Miss Oglesby, Miss Louisiana, Mr. Brown, who else? I think Mr. Adams might have said something. I can't see whoever else. I appreciate it, Miss Winship. Thank you for interacting with me. It sure does help class. Anybody got a question? Now, what should you be working on? Everybody should be working on
Homework.
Homework. And guess what I just finished? I just finished 6B and some of 6C. Uh-oh. What does that mean? It means tests coming up soon. So everybody should be working on all of Chapter 5 homework. And I just covered 6A and 6B. I pretty much covered that. And I even covered some of 6C. The only thing left is z-scores. So anything having to do with z-scores, and there may be a couple of one or two other things. I didn't finish 5-number summary today. I'll finish that. I'll finish 5-number summary on the spreadsheet. I need somebody to write down that we need to finish 5-number summary. Okay. I've already had, and I'm going to let you go here in just a second. I've already had 2 people email me about dates. I'm not going to give you a date until we get to the end of 6C and I pull up the test. I know what y'all are doing, not y'all in here, students. Y'all are trying to get a date so you can do everything at one time. I know what you're doing. You're putting it off, okay? And you're going to be in trouble if you do that. So those 3 or 4 students that haven't done jack in this class, you need to get to work because there's 3 or 4 of y'all that are not doing anything. So any questions? All right, today is what? Wednesday. So I will see y'all Friday. Y'all have a good day and get this homework started because y'all going to start sending in questions. Get out of here. See y'all.
Thank you. See you Friday.
All right. Be good.
Thank
Hey,
you.
interaction. Good. Everybody says bye to me. That's good. See y'all.